Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football. Let's talk about that match, the U.S. men's national team against El Salvador last night. This video is coming out a bit late. Obviously, anyone who's watched before know. No surprise, yeah, I got a full time job, so I try to get these videos out as soon as possible. It's not always easy, especially when the game starts at 10 o'clock. I was up till 12, like I'm sure most of you were watching. But here we are. I'll try to get through my notes here as soon as as quickly as I can. Not too much really to talk about. 0-0. Obviously, we get a point away. I think it's actually quite an important point, and it's of course it's better to start with 1 point. I thought we did all right. We had some chances we didn't take. Quite clearly, the Weston McKennie header. He buried that header against Mexico, which was obviously much more difficult to do. I think stakes obviously much higher as well. So it just goes to show you it's not always easy. I think he might have been thrown off a little bit by the defender coming in, the El Salvadorian coming in. So it is what it is, man. We got a point away from El Salvador, and just touching on Landon Donovan's interview after the game. A lot of people, like he said, were giving us a bit of slack, and even a friend of mine, a work colleague, was first thing he said to me was, "How can you guys not beat El Salvador?" He's from Mexico, so I didn't let him have it. So I just kind of, I thought they played well, man. El Salvador. I thought they stuck to their plan, and the plan was kind of as it always is, rough up players a little bit, and play a little dirty maybe. But that's the way it is. CONCACAF. I mean, I think a lot of other international teams might get eaten up, or break a nail, or something like that if they came to El Salvador. So look, a point's a point. Obviously Mexico won, so I think every other team drew, as a matter of fact. So we'll take what we can. It was a hostile environment. Again, speaking of interviews, Tyler Adams, after the game, the captain, of course, mentioned that, and those fans were something else. Forget about the 12th man. I mean, they were 13th and 14th. They were immense. They were incredible. I mean, right when the game started, that national anthem. I mean, I remember just sitting on the couch with my brother, kind of thinking, oh, fireworks are going, and it was a great atmosphere, man. I'm sure the people who were there, the Outlaws, had a great time. I'm sure they were hushed out. It was pretty hard to hear over the. It was like the 2010 World Cup all over again with those little trumpets. But again, that's what you get, man. That's the atmosphere you get, and I'm not sure if the players were really expecting that. I think it's hard to, to know what to expect when you're going away to a game like this. Again, this young team has shown what they can do. Of course, we won 2 trophies over the summer. But this young squad, you want the experience, and so there was a lot of players out there who didn't have it. Some of them who weren't part of this Gold Cup squad, and the Nations League squad. So it's nice to see them get out there and look, get integrated with what to expect from these games, because look, these teams aren't going to be pushed over. It's not everyone is scrapping for points in CONCACAF, and these World Cup qualifiers. Look, think about El Salvador and the players on that team. I'm not sure the last time they were in a World Cup, but when you have fans like that showing out, and the expectations are of course huge, because you have this pride, like every player does, to play for their country. And if you're a team who can beat the United States, or somehow you find enough points to get yourself qualified for a World Cup. I mean, imagine how that would make you feel, and that feeling is constant throughout these World Cup qualifiers, and just generally that's what it's all about. So, fair play to El Salvador. They looked pretty dangerous, man. You have to say, couple times on the counterattack. Not too much for Matt Turner to do, I think, but he was tested. There was enough to do. I just want to get into talking to players, their performances just a little bit. I'll just start with the back line. I was pretty shocked to see Yedlin starting. He's obviously the only one now left from the squad from that Trinidad game 4 years ago. I thought he had really fallen out of favor. Honestly, I didn't really think I'd see him much, especially in the World Cup qualifiers. But look, I have to say I was pretty impressed by him. I thought that move to Turkey was him sort of seeing the sunset on his career. I mean, he's not old or anything like that, but for me, going to Turkey isn't it's not a step up in your career. People tend to go to those leagues when, like I said, the sunset's coming, and maybe the MLS isn't a level you want to be at. But again, I have to say I was pretty impressed by Yedlin. Miles Robinson, another great game from him. During of course the last game was a Gold Cup. I think I named him my man of the match. Even regardless of whether or not he got that goal. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players. He's just so strong in the air and calm, and the way he reads the game, I thought he did really well against those quick forwards. And a big guy like him, you got to be careful when you're going in for tackles, especially a team like this who they're going to flop around and roll and they're going to try to get you booked. But he didn't take any shit from ththose players, and I thought alongside Tim Ream it looked really good. Another player I wasn't really expecting to start, but I saw a lot of people giving him Tim Ream the old get him out of the starting lineup, and Greg Berhalter, what's he doing? And just these Twitter fingers, these warriors thinking they know what's best, and eventually you're going to be right, sure, but in this case, certainly they were wrong about that. Tim Ream had a great game, I thought. That experience goes quite a long way, especially in a hostile environment like El Salvador, like I mentioned before. Sergio Dest on the left, I guess he's been there before. I don't think he plays there for Barcelona. I'm sure he plays on the right. I know he does, in fact. I'm not quite sure how the system works there, but he did all right. I mean, obviously he's a player who's not afraid to go forward, and he likes a little dribble every once in a while, and he loves to beat a player. So obviously he's confident enough on the left foot to play over there. And I thought he did all right. I thought he did good before he was subbed off, and so fair play to him for taking that position up. And I would have liked to see Robinson starting the Jedi. I would have liked to see him over there. I'm a big fan of his. Again, I didn't think Yedlin would start, because I thought it was going to be Dest and Robinson over there as the fullbacks. But great game from Dest. Let's just move on to the midfield. Adams, McKinney, Brendan Aronson, who I think Aronson really took up like a number 10 role. He tended to kind of move into the middle of the park and float around that number 10. And he was on the wing for a bit. He did all right. Sort of a new experience for him. So he's pretty confident coming off the goals that he scored for Salzburg, and I was happy to see him. A player I expected to start. Expectations obviously are high. First game for the World Cup qualifiers. I don't need to tell anyone this. Didn't qualify for the last World Cup, so that pressure is probably on. It didn't look like players really felt the pressure in a negative way, I should say. Certainly seemed like they were up for it. So I thought Aronson did all right. Adams, of course, for me, the standout, the captain for the night, would be my choice for captain as well. I'm a big fan of Tyler Adams, a player I would like to see at Arsenal, actually. It would be nice, but I won't go off on a tangent. Today's for the U.S. men's team. So McKinney, not at his best, I think, but again, did a pretty solid job. A lot of dirty work to be done in that park. In the middle of that park, and McKinney and Adams were certainly up for it. A lot of shirt pulling and challenges to sort of win in, and this is what I like about the men's team, is they don't flop around and look for a foul, and if they get fouled, they'll keep going. And sometimes honestly, it doesn't work in your favor because the referee is gonna maybe not give you the benefit of the doubt. And there's a fine line between being fouled and falling down, and being fouled and acting like your leg is broken, and I think that tends to be the case for a lot of these CONCACAF teams. El Salvador, Mexico, obviously, Honduras. These teams, they love a good flop around and roll about on the ground. But anyway, it was nice to see how strong they were in those two games. And those two players, on the pitch there. Obviously, the two of the leaders in the squad. It's pretty clear to see that. So I thought they did all right. Moving on to Gio Reyna was, I think, the biggest threat going forward. Honestly, the way he sort of slices through players, it's just. I mean, you see him do it at Dortmund, and there's a high caliber of players there at Dortmund, and he does it regardless. So you were expecting him to do the same against this El Salvadorian team. So I thought he did all right. Obviously we didn't score a goal, so there's nothing, you can't praise these players too much. But again, looked dangerous. Conrad, a player I expected to start, was happy to see start. Another guy I'm a huge fan of, obviously. He's been doing pretty well over there, Marseille. He seems to be playing quite a bit. I mean, I think he started the majority of the games, and I remember going back to one of the goals he scored in preseason. Just a quick step over and he was off, and we saw a little bit of that last night. So I think against Canada tomorrow, we're going to see a lot more comfort for these players, especially like Aronson, especially like Conrad. Gio Reyna is going to find his groove, I'm sure of it. And I think Sargent should also have a bit of a better game. And look, it was sloppy. The pitch is not. It's not a great pitch. These guys they're playing in Europe. They're playing on these fields that are much nicer, and those aren't excuses that both teams played on the pitch, but you expected a little bit of sloppiness throughout the game. So I can't get on anyone's back. Again, I wouldn't. I thought, again, like I said before, a point away at El Salvador is a decent outcome, I should say. You expect 3 points. Again, going back to Tyler Adams' press conference, he talked about we're expecting 9 points from 3 games, and that's what you want to hear, especially from the guy who's going to be wearing the armband for you. Of course, you'd like to hear that from every player, but I think it definitely translated to the team, and they were up for it. They were up for the fight. A couple scuffles here and there, and look, overall, it's all about the next game. So we'll see how we do against Canada. They looked all right. I watched highlights. I watched a bit of the game before the U.S. played. Canada, they have a couple secret weapons, a couple threats. I think Jonathan David is a huge talent. Obviously, Alphonso Davies, another one. But I expect us to beat Canada tomorrow. So, look, just want to touch on substitutions here. Dest coming off of Robinson, I think it's pretty clear he wants a bit of a. Berhalter obviously wants to rest him a bit before the game, and again, Robinson, a player I'm a huge fan of. I've said it before. I can't get too much into it, or people will start talking about my obsession with Robinson. So let's not get there. It was a little odd to see both fullbacks come off, especially when Acosta sort of slotted in that right back position. Kellen Acosta, one of my favorite players, alongside Miles Robinson. I think his Gold Cup performance for me was just. I mean, it was so. I have a whole video about that game, and you can watch it if you'd like. But look, he's probably my favorite player right now, and I would have liked to see him start. But obviously the formation Berhalter decided to go with, you have that 3, and I think Adams and McKennie tended to hold that midfield, and Aronson kind of roaming free, and that's not exactly Acosta's position. I think most likely McKennie is going to be starting over Acosta. They are a bit similar, but it was nice to see him there. I didn't really know he could play right back. I know Tyler Adams can play there as well as the middle of the park, so I guess it was nice to see. He did okay. I mean, it's not his strength. Obviously, he's there to break up the play in the midfield. Again, going back to the Gold Cup game against Mexico, the final there, he was just brilliant. He was so good at breaking up the play, and the tackles that he put in were all perfect. So again, it makes sense that he could play that right back position, but I don't. It'll be interesting to see what the lineup is like against Canada tomorrow. So something similar, perhaps. I mean, there's going to be a lot of rotating, I suppose. But if Costa starts in that midfield, I wouldn't be shocked, and I would be happy to see that. Look, just closing, it was a battle, a little dirty, pushing, shoving. There was I forget who it was, the player who got put. I think it was Aronson, actually, just broke away from one of the players, and the guy didn't go for the ball. He just pushed him and I thought that warranted a yellow card, to be honest, because didn't go for the ball. I mean, he wasn't a threat to the goal yet, but it just, this is how these teams play, and you can't go crying and looking for cards and fouls because the referee I didn't think had a great game anyway. But this is how they play. I've said it 1,000 times this video already, so you got to expect it, and you got to just suck it up and be a man and be aware that teams like El Salvador are going to try to beat you up because clearly they are the less talented team. I don't think that's a shock or anything to say. I think that's just a fact. So look, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'll be here with another video. Hopefully with a pretty little thumbnail for the game tomorrow against Canada. And hopefully we can pick up 3 points. Mexico maybe will lose, and we'll end up top of the group with 4. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.